The Seahawks have been in playoff mode all month, so they are no strangers to the intensity of these games down the stretch as they welcome one of the top teams in the NFC to Lumen Field. Hello 12s, I'm Jen Mueller with a preview of the Hawks' Week 16 matchup against the 12-2 Vikings as they vie for the top seed in the NFC. Seattle, meanwhile, is looking for a chance to rebound after a disappointing outcome against the Packers.
Just going through everything we've been through this year, starting out hot and going cold, and then, striking iron again. And, like I said, we've been battle-tested, so we know what it takes. Like I said, we have a really good football team coming here this weekend. And, like you said, being able to still control your own destiny at this point in the year, even with everything we went through, is really, really big for us.
We're in control of our own destiny. Just play our game and control one game at a time, and that's the biggest thing.
The second biggest thing is the health of Geno Smith. A knee injury in the third quarter knocked him out of the game Sunday, but he is on track to play this week.
A lot of guys are less than 100%. I've, been that way, pretty much the majority of the season. That's just the way the NFL goes, but no excuses. Got to go out there and perform.
Geno is on pace to set a franchise record for most passing yards in a season. Sunday snapped a streak of 12 straight games with at least 200 passing yards, the longest such streak in the NFL this season. His experience and playmaking ability will be key against an aggressive and talented Vikings defense.
Their roster is designed where guys can do multiple things, getting out of different fronts and structures without having to declare their personnel, so that helps. The stats and the pressures and the zeros, that's evolved, and it's a week-to-week type deal, but you kind of know what they can get to at any given point.
They're going to send disguises at you to try to throw you off your game, but like you said in the beginning, we can only just focus on what we can control, and that's running the best play, whatever Coach Grubb calls, running it to the best of our abilities.
The front seven in particular are a wrecking crew. The 60 QB hurries accumulated by the Vikings are the most in the NFL. Youth, injuries, and a lack of continuity on the Seahawks offensive line have led to quick pressure on almost 19% of Geno's dropbacks, the most of any quarterback in the league.
Those guys play really hard, number one, and they execute their system at a really, really high level. So the stress that they create on offenses is generated by confusion and all the things that they put on tape that coach works on. So I think it's more relative to just making sure that your guys are dialed in the game plan.
Jackson Smith-Njigba has been a go-to for Geno all year, and he is just 6 yards away from his first 1,000-yard season.
Not doing anything different. We're just giving them the ball and giving them opportunities to, showcase who he is and showcase the type of receiver he is.
Short passes might be the way to go against a Vikings defense that allows the second fewest rushing yards per game, just 89.1. and have contacted opposing rushers behind the line of scrimmage on 44.1% of carries this season. But then again, there's the possibility of Ken Walker returning, and he's forced the fourth most missed tackles of any running back this season.
Ken in general is obviously a really explosive runner, so anytime you have a guy like that and you're working against a good defense and you're working just to get cracks and daylight, having a guy like Ken is obviously advantageous, just that the daylight doesn't have to be quite as much, and he can make things happen for you off script.
On the other side of the matchup, Sam Darnold, a former 2018 first-round draft pick, seems to have found the right system and the right playmakers for his talent. Darnold has thrown for 200 or more yards in 9 straight games and has posted a passer rating of at least 100 in all but 3 games this season.
He just feels like he's playing really decisive, really confident. You can see all the talent coming to life. The arm talent is there, being able to hit all the throws in all the areas of the field. Seems like he can get it there pretty seamlessly.
They also have to account for the talent of wide receivers Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. The duo is one of the reasons the Vikings have the highest percentage of explosive plays of any team since 2014. With explosives accounting for almost 19% of their plays, Jefferson himself has racked up 24 receptions of 20 or more yards, the most in the league.
Those guys, they play all the positions, so you got to account for them in all the spots. Probably the most diverse route tree that we're going to get. Just 2 really dynamic players that we're going to have to account for.
Definitely, keeps us tighter in coverage, respecting the deep part of the field when they do, throw the ball downfield, but just, us playing our technique and being protective in the back end.
Sunday marks the final regular season game at home for the Hawks. And while home field advantage hasn't shown up in the record, the energy of the 12s is evident. A win this week keeps Seattle in the thick of the division race.
It would mean a lot just to, take this last one home and finish out the season strong so we can, play again in front of them in the playoffs.
Sunday's game will be the 180th consecutive sellout of Lumen Field, and 12s, it is going to be rocking. If you aren't at the stadium, you can find the game on Fox 13 in Seattle or listen on the Seahawks Radio Network.